Over the last 24 hours, we've probably learnt more about Xbox's future than we have done in the last 2 years. They released an internal memo email that was sent around the company worldwide for Xbox, where Asha, Sharma and Matt Booty basically revealed that the company's facing declining revenue, rising hardware costs just like everybody else, and concerns over its studio structure just like in total. And they've actually said this, that the next 100 days of Xbox reset and the reshaping of how Xbox is. And if the reports are accurate, then layoffs are probably just like weeks away. Like, I think Microsoft's financial year ends at the end of this month, so when they go into July, you'll probably see some layoffs or some studio closures even. So I'm about to dive into what's going on. We'll have a look at the internal memo and everything like that. So if you've followed Xbox over like the last decade, you've probably noticed something. The strategy is constantly changing. We've had console first, Game Pass, cloud gaming, play anywhere, everything's an Xbox, multi-platform, and now we're resetting. It feels like that they're going to start doing like another major shift, because the memo that's been sent round to the Xbox employees wasn't a big massive celebration email. It was like a warning, and some of the language used was incredibly revealing. The first half of the memo is focused on the positives: more platform updates, Game Pass growth, player voice, FanFest returns, Gears of War E-Day exclusive, Clockwork Revolution exclusive. Xbox says it has shipped more platform updates in the last 100 days than the previous year combined. Game Pass has reportedly returned to the growth after 88 months of decline. I'm going to say 18 months of decline then. The player voice has given them direct community feedback. The Xbox Showcase generated huge engagement, and Xbox has recommitted to console exclusives through the Gears of War and Clockwork Revolution. On the surface, this all sounds very encouraging, but then the tone drastically changes the further you go down. Xbox reveals that despite spending more than $20 billion over the last 5 years on content, platform investment and hardware subsidies, annual revenue has actually fallen by nearly $500 million. Let me just get that again. More than $20 billion spent, revenue is down. The memo openly states this cannot continue, and that might be the most important sentence in the entire document, because from that point onwards, everything starts making sense. One of the biggest revelations was around hardware. Xbox says it's facing what it calls a hardware component crisis. Storage costs have more than doubled, then doubled again, and by the 2027 holiday period, component costs could be more than 5 times higher than they were just 2 years ago. And that's a massive problem, especially when Xbox is already selling hardware in a market where margins are incredibly tight. But here's the key part also. Xbox didn't say that Helix was going to be cancelled. Quite the opposite. They basically said, we remain committed to Helix. However, they also are adamant that they need a new business model and new hardware partnerships. And that could be the biggest clue we've had yet. Reports from The Verge suggest that Xbox could be exploring partnerships with PC manufacturers such as Asus, Lenovo, Dell and HP to create Xbox branded devices. If that's true, Helix may not look like a traditional Xbox at all. It could be something much closer to a Windows-powered PC gaming platform built in partnership with hardware manufacturers. A hybrid between console simplicity and PC flexibility. Then we get into the section that many developers and fans are most worried about. Xbox describes its studio network as overextended. They admit they expanded their studio system to support multiple strategies across subscription, streaming and devices. But they also admit that they have not adequately funded some of those teams to compete and, more importantly, to win. And that's a remarkable admission. For years, one of the biggest criticisms levelled at Xbox was that it acquired incredible talent and valuable IP, but often struggled to consistently support those studios. The memo doesn't name names, but it does suggest that leadership believes the current structure is no longer sustainable. And that brings us to the reports that we're seeing now. According to Tom Warren at The Verge, Microsoft is preparing significant Xbox layoffs next month. The company has reportedly been preparing internally for weeks. Bloomberg has also reported that the cuts are expected to be major. There are even suggestions that studio closures could be considered as part of the wider reset. Now, obviously, let's be clear, no studio closures have been confirmed, but the fact that they're being discussed at all tells you how serious leadership views this situation. And it's not just development teams. Reports suggest that marketing budgets and other parts of the Xbox business may also face reductions. And this appears to be company-wide restructuring effort, not a small adjustment. Interestingly, this memo wasn't an attack on Game Pass. In fact, Xbox says the service has started growing again. But what this memo does tell us is that growth alone isn't enough anymore. The new leadership team appears focused on profitability, not just engagement, not just subscriber numbers, actual financial returns. And that shift could influence everything from Game Pass pricing to the first party strategy over the next few years. Our competition is attention. That one line there really stood out to me. Notice they didn't say PlayStation. They didn't say Nintendo. They didn't say Steam. They said attention. Xbox believes it's competing now with Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, streaming services, social media. Everything that is now fighting for your free time. And that tells us that this leadership isn't just thinking about consoles, they're thinking about the entire entertainment landscape. So where does this leave Xbox? Here's what we know. Helix is alive. Console exclusives are back. Game Pass is growing again, but revenue performance has not met expectations. Hardware costs are becoming a major issue, the studio structure is under review, and layoffs appear increasingly likely. And Xbox is actively exploring a very different future for hardware. The phrase Xbox reset isn't marketing language, it's exactly what it sounds like, a reset. The company is trying to redefine how Xbox operates before financial pressures force even tougher decisions later on. Now, personally for me, I think that this is the most honest communication that we've ever seen from Xbox in years. It's both encouraging and concerning. Encouraging because we're finally acknowledging the problems that fans have been talking about for absolutely ages. But at the same time, it's concerning because when companies start openly discussing this type of stuff, difficult decisions usually follow this, and there's going to be probably some stuff that happens that people aren't going to be happy with. The biggest question, I suppose, is whether Xbox can survive. And judging by what we're seeing right now, Xbox isn't going anywhere. The question is, what will Xbox look like after the reset is finished? Does Helix reinvent the console business? Does the studio cuts go deeper than expected? And can Xbox finally balance great games and healthy studio profitability at the same time? Those are the questions that will define the next 100 days. But tell me, what do you think about all of this? Is Xbox on the right track now for a comeback? Are we looking at the early warning signs of an even bigger change ahead? Like, is Xbox going to die or anything like that? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button, the like button, and you're turning on your notifications so you don't miss future press pause deep dives. I've been Adam, and this has been Play Pause Talk, and I'll catch you in the next one.